Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to Newcastle Fans TV. And it's Friday night, and what better way to spend a Friday night than to score some players after a 1-0 defeat? I'm here with Liam, who's had a haircut today, but is wearing his resplendent dressing gown as per. Liam, before we crack on with scoring the players, let's get your reaction. What did you think of the overall performance / result last night? You've muted yourself. This is a brilliant start here.
Yeah, I just felt like it was like just meh. Like no one was that good. I think it was just a bang average performance.
It was. I thought it was a very tired performance. I don't know about you. Very tired. I think we were starting to feel the strain of 3 away games in the space of a week. Do you think the this break we're having, where they're going to Dubai, has come at a good time?
I thought it was Saudi Arabia.
No, they're going to Dubai this time.
Oh, they're going to Dubai. Yeah, I think it's going to be it's probably the right time. Do you know what I mean? I think you could argue you could have maybe rotated it a bit more, but then it's like he could have just smashed with rotated it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think we're personally safe, but it's going to be one of them things.
Interesting. I think there's still a little bit more work to do, but I think, we are more or less there, aren't we? As always, please do give this video a like, and we've got the membership program. You can join, chat with us on Discord, exclusive members videos, and much, much more. And also give us a follow on our social media platforms too. So, Liam, I'll let you start with the goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka.
I think it's a tricky one because I've seen a few people saying it was Dubravka's, or Dubravka could have done a lot better for the goal, but I don't think he could have done much different. I think I'm just going to go straight down the middle and just go 6. Not straight down the middle, a bit more positive, but 6 for me.
That's a Football Manager straight down the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm going off. He's done like a bang average. I mean, he wasn't a 7. But I think obviously if we didn't concede, I think it would have been a 7 because I think he played quite well. Obviously they were quite poor going forward, so from what I've seen, he did well.
Yeah, he didn't really have many saves to make. He made that one good save from, forgive me, who was it, from outside the box, palmed it over for a corner. And then the only thing...
Gordon.
Yes. What an irritating little shit he was last night.
Yeah.
And then the only thing he had to do in the whole of the first half, there was a header from Holgate from a corner that was straight at him, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't think he could have done a great deal about the goal. But yeah, 6 for Martin Dubravka. Let's start with the right back on the back line. I'll take Emil Krafth. Defensively, I thought he was reasonably sound. Didn't offer us much going forward, which was probably what we needed, especially with Almiron starting on that right-hand side, which we'll come on to when we talk about Miggy. Miggy is frustrating the hell out of me at the moment.
I've only been saying it for like 2 years.
Yeah, I know. I've finally singing off your hymn sheet now. I don't like him on the right-hand side. Anyway, no. We're not doing Miggy yet. We're doing Emil Krafth. Yeah, defensively, I thought he coped reasonably well. No, I thought he coped well. He did. And he has been doing. Howe prefers him in a flat back 4 to Manquillo, which was my argument with Johnny pre-Trippier, because when Trippier's fit, there's no contest at all. Everyone knows that. So regarding Krafth, I think it is. I think it is another 6. Yeah. Just wanted him to get forward a bit more, which he did on occasions, but just the end quality wasn't there, and it led to a lot of frustration.
The only thing that I remember from Krafth going forward is where Bruno played that ball down the right, and then Krafth got on it and crossed it in, and I think he did well for that, but I can't particularly run going forward. But I do feel like he gets the blame for near enough every loss Suarez Krafth. I think he just gets so much shit on Twitter, but I think he's done all right. I think he's done all right for the last few games he's played for, and I think people have just got this expectation like he's going to rule the world, but we've got him for 5 million. So what can you expect?
Yeah. I mean, considering how cheap he was bought, like the expectations should already be pretty low, yet he still gets a lot of grief. But I mean, look, again, we all know he ain't getting anywhere near the first team when Trippier's fit, so it is what it is, and he may well be out in the summer. Captain for the evening, Fabian Schär. How do you rate his performance?
I was quite surprised he was captain. I thought it would have been like Dan Burn.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it might be a bit too soon for Dan Burn, but then again, Trippier was given the armband, wasn't he? But
yeah,
I don't know. Schär, I mean, he's been fantastic the past few weeks, hasn't he? So I kind of he's earned it in a way. Do you not think?
Yeah. I think he had quite a good game. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. Really, I think he was marking his man, and it was Dan Burn's man. I think he was trying to wind up Richarlison when he got his yellow card. Obviously, trying to get Richarlison sent off is not really. Obviously, once you get him fired up, he's going to get sent off. So, defensively, he was spot on. His ball squad was spot on. I think some of the times he does like shooting instead of passing. He's not going to score Burnley goals over again, is he? So I think I'm just going to go straight down the middle as Football Manager scores a 6 again.
I have a bugbear with Schär, and it's nothing major, but I think he played the long ball a bit too often for my liking. I think we pumped it long more than what we should have done personally. Just a personal thing that was irritating me a little bit throughout the game. When a pass was on and you could have built up the play, which we did sometimes. Don't get me wrong; it wasn't constant, but there was just a few times where I thought the opportunity was there to keep it on the floor, but it was just smashed long looking for Chris Wood, which I don't like. It
probably just comes down to tired legs again, and it was a very scrappy game. Was it even like 10 minutes without a stoppage? Like a stoppage, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, just stop oil or whatever the freaking Hugh Fernie Whittingstall had on his t-shirt. Utterly bizarre. But I think that disrupted the flow of the game. We just started to get a grip at the start of the second half, and we were on the attack when it happened.
Yeah.
Everton stewarding, speaking to Lee last night, was pretty terrible in general, but they weren't as sharp as the ones at the Emirates previous night.
I've seen something on Twitter that one of the Everton fans handed one of the stewards a knife to cut the cord, and then the steward handed it back to him.
That can't be true. That can't be true. No way. That's not true. That's not true. Leave in the comments. I've already told everyone to like the vid.
I did see someone trolling saying that Chelsea have asked to play the same time as Man City when they go away in the Champions League, so they can't. So they can share the plane. And then some big Twitter like page started retweeting it, and the kids I was just laughing on.
Dear mate, there's a lot of that. It's the hazards of Twitter, I guess. Some shit doesn't half stick.
It's just the hazard of journalism. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is now. It's just rumours and unfounded facts. But
yeah, no, very true. But yeah, back on topic. Fabian
I know. It seems like we've had a few down the pub and we're getting a bit political. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Fabian Schär. Yeah. Should he be signing a new contract for you?
I think so. I think he's found his partner. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be a shame to lose him on a free. If he goes, he's done his time. Do you know what I mean? I think what's that? 4 years under us now. He's had I would say 1.5 good seasons in that poor one under Bruce. Obviously, he didn't know where he could defend, but it would be a shame to lose him on a free. He's I would probably say he's different than any other player we've got because he can actually pass the ball.
And who would have thought he can play in the back four?
Yeah, but if he goes, then we're going to have to bring another centre back in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one for the summer because it'll be interesting times for sure when it comes to the transfer market at the end of the season. Dan Burn. Now, this is a tricky one because there's no getting away from the fact he was at fault for the goal. And I don't want to hear about, well, ASM lost the ball I'm sorry. That's not why we conceded, because ASM lost. The pass from Joelinton to ASM wasn't great in the first place, but I'm not going to get bogged down in that. Unfortunately, it was Dan Burns' fault, which is such a shame, because for me, he's been immense since he's joined. He should be in the England squad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one to score, because if the game would have finished 0-0, you're probably talking again, same as Chelsea, probably a man of the match contender.
But I think if it finished 0-0, I think most of these would have been a 7.
Yeah,
like most of the defense would have been a 7. But then he is at fault with the goal, so you can't really. I think if he stood off him instead of diving in, I don't think they would have. I think they would have shot from long range.
Yeah, and Iwobi was crap all game as well.
Yeah,
I know Big Al gave him man of the match at the end, but it just shows how much of a poor game it was, if anything.
Yeah, but I said to me, pal, I was like, he's terrible. Him, and then he goes and scores. He's like, yeah, terrible. But he was. I think he's the type of player that you need in a relegation battle, I would say. More than Richarlison. Richarlison just threw his toys out the pram all the time. It seems like we're rating Everton, not Newcastle, but
you spent more time flat on the floor. Did you see the tweet that I put out? I did a funny tweet with the picture of the protester being carried off on all fours, and then Richarlison leaving the pitch. But yeah, there you go. Burn scoring wise,
it's got to be 4 or 5 for me. Like,
oh no, I think that's very harsh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna match him with Schär on a 6, and I'll tell you why. Because for 99% of the game, he was the better centre half out of the two.
Yeah,
he was playing the ball out rather than just pumping it long all the time, which was what was narking me with Schär a little bit. It's just one little error. Same with Chelsea.
Yeah.
But you can't really. I don't really want to poo-poo his whole performance just for one error right at the death, but I get it. It's frustrating. It's annoying. But at the end of the day, for me, he still had a pretty good game, all in all.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Would you have marked Dubravka the same if he made a mistake? The same as a 6?
Don't know. It's a good point.
Because if Dubravka had a good game like Dan Burn did and he let in a howler, you would probably, like, Brandon would be calling for a 0.75 or something. Do you know what I mean?
Not with Dubravka. He would have just knocked him down to like a 9. With Brandon and Dubravka, he automatically starts at a 10, and then it goes from there, really. But yeah, I don't know. I still think he had a pretty decent game. Without that mistake at the end, I'd be looking at 7.5 or maybe an 8 or something. So it's not as if he's not being marked down for essentially what's cost us a point at least. But yeah, if you disagree, get in the comments. Let us know what you think. Liam, Matt Targett. Another solid game from the left back.
I actually don't think he's had a bad game. Do you know what I mean? He just seems to be one of these players that consistent. I think he's sort of like a Dummett player where you just need the consistency. But I do think it's a lot better than Dummett. But he just seems to be pulling out performance after performance. And if we can get him for 15 million in the summer, then it's going to be a bargain. Do you know what I mean? Get him for 3 or 4 years. Obviously, when we're in the Champions League or be in the Champions League, he's going to be a good squad player. I think I'm going to go. It's hard because I think if it was 0-0, I think I would have given the lot 7.
I still would have. I would be giving Targett a 7. But what did you say?
6. Yeah.
Yeah, it's harsh. I would have given him a 7. It's not as if he did anything wrong to concede.
So would you give him? Would you give him an 8 if we didn't concede?
No. Well, the attack didn't come from his side, did it?
True.
It had nothing to do with the goal. So it was irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think you're being
fair point.
harsh. Or maybe I'm being overly nice because I feel guilty because I didn't want Targett. I'm not going to lie.
Who did you want?
I didn't think we needed a new left back, but
Is it?
in this, like in the January
Yeah.
window, I thought there was priorities that laid elsewhere. But
Well,
he's
I was on
brilliant.
holiday. I was on holiday when the squad got announced, and I was surprised Hayden and Lewis weren't in it.
Yeah, I was. I thought there's still a player in there somewhere, but I'm not going to complain. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. And again, the England squad yesterday was just an absolute farce with some of the players Southgate's picked. He's picked a few injured players. He's picked some players that are desperately out of form, and the likes of Targett. It's not like Targett. And I made this point before when I've admitted I've been wrong about him. It's not like when you sign a loan player that he's coming in cold. Targett's been playing all throughout the season up until Villa signed Luca Dean earlier in the window. Yeah. So it's not like the Danny Rose signing where he hadn't played for 6 months. He's still been playing Premier League football. So I think like Ollie says there, he's got a cracking delivery. And the same, he has been a hell of a lot better than what I thought he would be. So, fair play. Long may it continue. And I agree with you, Liam, that 15 million nowadays doesn't seem overly unreasonable for him.
Speaking about the Southgate thing, Harry Maguire only got into the team because he's got them into a semi-final and a final. That's what Southgate said.
That's one for another day.
He'll score again, slide on his knees, and then go back to Man U and have a shot.
The guy on the right looks like Mike Williamson, the ex-Toon defender. I don't think Mike Williamson ever wore a dressing gown.
I wish I had his money, though.
Player manager of Gateshead.
Yeah.
Good luck to him. Right, midfield. The midfield for me really, really disappointed me last night. Like, really disappointed me because I thought that three is our strongest three, all in all, because Bruno essentially wants to play where he did. And Bruno was the exception. Bruno, for me, was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Full stop. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah. I still think at times he's still learning the league and how quick it is. And I just think sometimes players will pull him and he'll start whinging. Not all the time, but he'll start whinging the referee, and the referee's just like, come on, pack me in. Do you know what I mean? Just carry on. But that's just going to come with time.
I don't think that was really an issue when you had like Gordon and Richarlison last night. I didn't really pick up on any of that. But Bruno Guimarães for me was the best player on the park, and he's getting an 8. Pure silk. He is pure silk. He's just a level above. He can do it all. Look, let's not be expecting him to be doing backheel volleys every other game for us, because that's not what his game's about. I mean, it was like a Tiote, but with the passing ability of Kabay last night. That's his game. That ball he slipped through in the first half was just on another level. He's going to be the guy in the future that's going to be dictating the play, starting our attacks. He was where he has the edge over Shelvey is, and I'm not calling Shelvey lazy because he's not, and I've never thought Shelvey was lazy, even when he was getting all that grief. But Bruno's probably a bit more energetic going forward.
Yeah.
Whereas Shelvey's will do more side to side and then back and forth, but not as far forward. Bruno, I thought, was just he was the one. He was the one shining point of a pretty dull evening for me. I don't know what you thought.
I wasn't scared when he had the ball at all. Do you know what I mean? You know, and sometimes you're fearful with a midfielder having the ball, and I think it was just because I think he just can get out of any situation. Some of the passes, I was just thinking, like, why is he keeping the Newcastle goal? Oh, looks like Sam's gone. Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. Don't panic.
Oh.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Is someone
Stop
saying
panicking.
is someone saying I look like Tom Hardy? I'll take that. Like,
Yes. Well, I thought you would.
You birds like who's just said that. So clearly she doesn't agree.
Yeah, we all heard.
Yeah.
Dear me. Right. So yeah,
But yeah,
Bruno Guimarães, 8 out of 10. The other two for me, I don't know about you, Liam, but the other two really, really disappointed me last night. I'll give you Joelinton.
on that performance, from what we've seen over the past couple of games in centre mid, I think actually we missed him against Chelsea, to be fair. I think, like you said, that all the team just looked tired, and I think you looked tired, and I think maybe he got marked out of the game from Decore slightly, so he couldn't stamp his authority. So I think it's a harsh one. I want to give him a 6, but then I feel like he didn't do enough to deserve a 6, so I think I'm going to go with a 5.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this on a video with you, but I agree with everything you just said. I thought it was a really interesting battle between Joelinton and Decore, and at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, Joelinton didn't win the battle.
Yeah.
So it's a really frustrating one. Do you think he was fully fit?
No, I don't. I think he just got put on because I think
Why risk him?
We didn't want to change it. Well, I would class him as he's physically fit, but then he's not match ready. It looked like he was about a couple of days behind in training, or could have had a couple more days in training, then he would have been match fit. But I think Joelinton will have them games where he does frustrate you. But yeah, like you said, it was an interesting battles, and I think Joelinton was winning some of the battles at the time, but then I think Decore just took over later on in the game and then just kept him quiet. Yeah,
I agree. Joe Willock for me was equally as poor, if not a bit poorer. Shame really, because he'd really kicked on and he was playing some fantastic stuff. But you can't play well every week, I suppose. Come back from illness. I was a bit surprised he didn't get subbed off and we didn't see Sean Longstaff come on. I have to admit, I was a bit surprised by that. It was just really disappointed me, them two, the two Joes, Willock and Joelinton, because when that team sheet got released, I thought brilliant. That on paper, in my opinion, is still probably our strongest three, and that's not anything to detriment John Joe Shelvey, because he's been fantastic. The problem is Bruno's predominant position is where Shelvey wants to be as well.
Yeah.
So a decision's got to be made there down the line. But Shelvey's been fantastic. Willock, was he as good as Joelinton? Was he equally as bad? I'm going to go half a mark down from Joelinton. He got in one good position all game, Joe Willock, and pretty much scuffed his shot. And that was all she wrote, really. It was flimsy, to say the least. I was disappointed that we didn't see Sean Longstaff, because he'd been playing well. Sean was good at Chelsea.
Yeah,
and it seems like they may have been rushed back a bit. But why rush them back when we've now got no game for 2 weeks and we're going on holiday?
Yeah. I was about to say we could even start a Henrik, and I forgot he was a QPR.
He is at QPR.
Does anyone know how he's doing?
Firm to middling. I think he's doing okay. It probably wants to level Championship football. He'd be all right there, isn't he?
Two youngsters are smashing up whatever division they're in.
Oh yeah, Elliot Anderson. Yeah, was it 2 and 2, and Matty 3 and 3. Fantastic. Just goes to show how much them lads needed games.
Yeah.
Your favourite player, Miguel Almiron?
As always, frustrating. He puts in the effort. But I think even Shearer says, I think he had a ball on the wing. I think it was just after a corner and he just couldn't get the power into the cross to get over the first man. But I think it's always going to be that. I think every time you see Miggy in a team sheet, you're like, this is his last chance. This is his last chance. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how many last chances can he have? Kind of 4. I don't think he's particularly done a lot.
He did one good thing, didn't he? And that was literally right before he came off, and he'd finally got past his man and put a crossing that was a bit skew-if. He just doesn't work for me on the right-hand side. He can't do it. He's too one-footed. He cannot do it. I thought Howe could have maybe, because Fraser's more versatile, he maybe could have switched over Fraser and Mickey halfway through the first half. But every time he picks up the ball on the right, he has to turn round, come backwards, go in a big circle to then get it out of his feet. It just slows for such a quick player. It slows down the attack, and it does my absolute nutting.
Yeah, I was saying we should try him a fullback. Do you know what I mean? Just get him bobbing up and down the wing.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought Joelinton was a centre mid? You'd have been called various names had you suggested that this time last year.
But I think he's gone in the summer league.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Let us know in the comments if you disagree. And don't forget to smash the like. Ryan Fraser. Typical huffed and puffed. Brilliant. Now we've got the real Ryan Fraser after 18 months of stagnation and niggling injuries here and there. I thought he was probably our second best player of the evening, along with Targett. I think that's down that side was where, if we were going to create a goal, it was going to come from that side. Just a little terrier of a winger, isn't he? I'm going to give him a 6.5. Because if we, like I say, if we were going to make stuff happen, the chances are it was going to come with him, because the substitutes didn't really have the desired effect, because the game had gone a bit too scrappy for when we had the 14 minutes of stoppage time, and B, when the game was just so stop-start because of the referee. But anything to add on my Fraser assessment?
These are the performances I want to see from Ryan Fraser, essentially.
What, 6.5s?
Well, no. I think his performance yesterday probably merited a bit higher than the 6.5, but where he's putting in the effort and probably crossing the balls. But I think he probably should have been in the Scotland squad. That was just a bit of pettiness from the manager.
That's a weird situation.
But I just want to see a fit Ryan Fraser and a fit Callum Wilson playing together. Do you know what I mean? That's ideal. Well, that's probably why he was brought in on a free. Do you know what I mean? Because they're probably linked up well. But this is what we need. I think we need Wilson back.
Well, the man who's playing instead of Callum Wilson is who you've got next, and it's Chris Wood, who, to me, looked knackered, even not long after the game started.
He's just not getting the service, is he? I think Ryan Fraser was trying, but then I think if you're going to either have probably Miggy or ESM playing, and neither of them can really cross, or one doesn't want to cross. Do you know what I mean? He does. I think he brings a lot to the game. He holds the play up. He can spin like he did against Leeds, I think it was. He can be quite intelligent, but there was an argument for maybe having a big man, little man yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Bringing Dwight Gale off the bench.
I say that smacks of desperation to me. We know what Dwight Gale's all about. He's barely kicked a ball in anger over the past 12 months. Do you really think he would have made any difference whatsoever?
I think he could have made some difference. I don't think it didn't seem like going down the sides was working forward. Do you know what I mean? Like when ESM came on, he was much used as a fire guard. But it's one of them things, isn't it? We could talk and talk and talk, but we're never gonna be in that situation where it's in James Park or not in James Park, whatever that stadium's called. But I think I'm gonna give him out of 5. Like you said,
I think that's generous.
Yeah, like you said, he looked tired. But how many matches has he played in a row now? 12?
Well, yeah, he's played pretty much every minute. Well, no, I think he has played every minute of every game since he signed, hasn't he? Because of Wilson's injury. So
and he's had out 3 shots on target.
Yeah, pretty much. That header he had in the first half that he just didn't put away because everyone thought he was offside. But then didn't it turn out that he was on?
He was onside.
That's annoying, isn't it? But
Yes.
There you go. Chris Wood gets a 5. Allan Saint-Maximin was the first substitute after a lengthy delay, as we have already discussed, and it's already been doing the rounds for ever and a day on social media. Got Allan sent off with his burst of pace, but I don't think impact sub is his forte. I think he needs to be starting games to really make a difference, because it just didn't really fall for him at all, did it? It was a bit...
I think when we went down to 10 men, I think Eddie Howe should have just been screaming, just put it in the box. Put it in the box, do you know what I mean? And I think obviously he tried to do... He is good, I'm not going to lie, but I think there's a certain time and a certain place where you need to tell your player to put the ball in the box.
Yeah.
I think there was a few times he skipped away, but Everton seemed to, if they weren't doubling up on them or tripling up on him, so he couldn't do what he needed to do, because as soon as he lost slight control of the ball, there was a foot going in, get the ball off him. They would try it again. But I would have just told him to put the ball in the box, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's getting a 5 from me. I don't think again the stop-start situation in the second half from one thing or another, whether it be the referee, whether it be protesters invading and cable tying their neck to a goalpost.
It's a strong cable tie, mind.
Fucking was, just, them rusty bolt cutters had zero effect. Yeah, it was a really... It didn't have the desired effect, did it? I think he does more from the start, and that's quite rare in that kind of player, I think. And again, if you've just joined us, to my earlier point, I ain't having a patch that he was at fault for the goal. No way, no, not having it.
I sometimes wish he was a bit like Murphy, where he just gets to the byline and just crosses it. Do you know what I mean? But he's never going to be like that, is he?
No, but I don't think that's a bad thing on the.
No, I don't mean like all the time, but like I think sometimes you've got to learn is like, if you want to be a world class player, is when to skip around players and when to cross it, or when to get the byline and cross it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. With ASM, though, time is on his side, and with more better players as this squad starts to develop now, who knows? You might see that part of his game improve. But seeing as though, as you mentioned, Jacob Murphy, you can take the second substitute.
9 out of 10. Brilliant. From start to finish.
Yeah.
I thought he'd done well when he came on. I think he'd done what Jacob Murphy does, and gets the ball and crosses it. But it didn't really come to much, did it? I think I'm just going to go bang average. Football Manager, stay down the middle in the 6.
Recurring theme with you tonight.
Well, can you tell I've been playing it?
Yes, you can. Jacob Murphy gets a 6. Yeah,
I was surprised he was dropped, actually.
I was surprised he was dropped ahead of Miggy, because he's ahead of Miggy in the pecking order, which A, shows you how ineffective Miggy's been, and B, how hard Murphy's worked to get up to more that level. He's another one that could end up going in the summer. Whether he will or not, I don't know, but he's a contender.
So he was so hard to sell on Football Manager. I think I'm 4 seasons in and he's still a player. Just keep sending him out on loan.
New 5-year deal last summer. Normally, when a player gets brought on at the 89th minute, it's just an easy non-applicable. But, when there's 14 minutes of stoppage time, all of a sudden Javi Manquillo is a contender for a player rating, but I'm going to err on the side of calling and go non-applicable because I don't think he has.
I don't think he done a lot as well.
No, he didn't. I think if you're going to bring him on sooner. Krafth was on a yellow, but he'd been on a yellow for bloody ages before he got took off.
I thought as soon as Krafth went on a yellow, we should have took him off.
That to me would have made more sense to wait that long. Then I would have sooner have seen Sean come on for Joe Willock, personally, but not applicable. Eddie Howe, let's see if we can agree on a rating for our manager. How would you assess?
It was a very scrappy game, and I think we've won those sort of games before because we can be quite scrappy. I do feel like he's the 2 out of the 3 midfielders let him down. And he hasn't got a clinical striker in Wood as it stands at the moment, so I think I'm going to go 5. Obviously, if he had to rotate through injury, like Miggy had to come on. Obviously, Joelinton came on, and Krafth came on as well. I think that was his starting, wasn't it? Did he start the last game against Chelsea?
No. We had the back 5 against Chelsea, didn't we? So Manquillo played. So Krafth came in.
So I think he's just probably realising now that we can rotate the squad slightly because we're not in immediate danger. So I'm just going to go with a 5. I think he could have probably brought subs on earlier on. I think ESM could have came on about 60 minutes. Krafth could have came on it. Manquillo could have came in, and like you said, Longstaff could have came on for Willock. But I think Willock and Longstaff are 2 totally different players.
Yeah. I had similar thoughts. Before you started speaking, I was going to give him a 6. So we'll meet in the middle. I've got to be honest, from the past 3 games, obviously 3 away games in 7 days, I'd have taken 2 points. I'd have taken a point at Southampton. I'd have took a point last night. Fully aware of where Everton are in the league, but they're not going down. No way. In the end, from them 3, we've got 3 points. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Just a couple of niggling things. I completely understand squad rotation because of them games. Players obviously aren't fully fit. I don't think Joelinton was fully wound up last night. The breaks probably come at the right time, really, for us, because then we've got another big run of games before a horrible run in before Burnley, last game of the season. So the next few games after this upcoming break are crucial to really just make sure. I think we'll be okay now, which is a testament to Howe's coaching and the rest of his staff. Just a couple of niggling things. I would have liked to have seen Willock be replaced as a substitute of him starting. I was broadly fine with the starting 11. I just found Miggy interesting, but again, squad rotation, okay, fine. As I mentioned before, you could have maybe interchanged Fraser and Miggy to just try and give Miggy some time on the left because he's so one-footed, to see if we could get a cross in for Chris Wood.
He could even have maybe went attacking 2 attacking mids, though. Do you know what I mean? Instead of having them out with our wing, I try and bring them in the middle.
Yeah, I get that, but Willock tried to get forward. Joelinton didn't really get forward because Decore pretty much had him silenced for the vast majority of the game. It's just one of them that a scrappy game. The referee was poor. Allan's challenge, all right, they've upheld the 3-match. I'd be very disappointed if a Newcastle player, or like if Isaac Hayden got sent off for that, because that was an Isaac Hayden challenge. I know, and it was one of them where in real time, right in front of the ref, yellow card seemed perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable to me. But then when you slow it down...
See, I didn't think it was a red. I think it would have been a red if his foot was planted on the ground.
Well, you're deemed to be out of control if both feet are off the floor. So, which in slow motion made it look bad.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, if them's the rules, they clearly are, because otherwise his ban would have been either reduced or rescinded completely. But it hasn't. It's been upheld. So 3-match ban for Allan. But that's a moot point, I suppose. Did we do enough when we went down to 10 men? The effort was there, but we were just too slow, whether or not we were tired or not.
Yeah.
Possibly. But you would have liked to have seen a bit more, wouldn't you?
Definitely.
So Eddie Howe gets a 5.5. So, as always, let us know your ratings. Do you agree with me and Liam? Do you disagree with Liam? Plenty of stuff coming up on the channel. If you haven't already seen it, me and Johnny interviewed Shaka Hislop earlier this week. So a fantastic hour with Shaka, who's just been awarded the freedom of the city of Newcastle. So he can do whatever he darn pleases, Liam.
Grazes cows wherever he wants.
All right, spoiler alert. Gee, don't spoil it for people that haven't seen it. But, yeah, who knows? Shaka might be in the market for some cattle. That's all I'll say. But thank you all very much for watching. Final thoughts?
We've got a TikTok account to follow it. Newcastle Fans TV. Boom.
Yes. How many followers are you up to now?
687.
That's not bad, considering you've only been going at it for a few weeks. That's not bad.
2 months actually.
I'm trying to
It was
a few weeks. What, 8 weeks?
It was because I would have had more, but obviously I went on holiday for 10 days, so there was now happening for 10 days on the page. So,
but do subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you all very much for watching. Give the video a like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very